So I have had videos that I've done on Wendy Williams, and I really liked her show, and I felt really sad about what happened to her because I feel like she didn't deserve all of what she had got. Um, with the losing her show and her health declining and losing a lot of things. Her son, he was evicted recently from his Miami, I believe it was a Miami apartment. He owed more than $70,000 in back rent. And Wendy Williams, she's been going through it. And so it says here, I have no money. Wendy Williams, an ex Kevin Hunter, claims that he cannot pay bills and faces home foreclosure after Star stopped alimony payments. So she's like going through something, and in return, Kevin Hunter is going through something because he was her husband and he's her ex. Now, if you know the story of Wendy Williams and Hunter, her ex, Kevin Hunter, he actually had a woman that he was basically seeing while he was married to Wendy Williams, and he had impregnated her. He bought her a house on the same, I believe, in the same neighborhood or the same block as you would have it. He also was very, he wasn't hiding the relationship. In the beginning, I believe he might have been, but then as pictures and a lot of talk surfaced about him and Wendy splitting up, and that he had another woman, and that this woman was pregnant, and he was involved with another woman that was younger than Wendy, and that he had bought the woman a house on the same block as Wendy Williams. I think, what do they say? What goes around comes around. There's a lot of sayings, so I believe Kevin Hunter is probably getting what he set up. He caused all of these issues, some of it to fall on himself, and he, I believe, is one of the reasons why Wendy Williams is not herself. I think she went through a really rough marriage with Kevin Hunter, and I have reason to believe that has something to do with the reason why she had went back into rehab, and she had started, going through a substance abuse and issues and having a lot of problems because of what was going on in her marriage, her last marriage. So in the shocking court filing exclusively obtained by the U.S. Sun, Wendy's ex claimed that his monthly payments, which were made by the Star as agreed to in their divorce, suddenly stopped in February of 2022. So I don't know if you guys heard it. Now Wendy, her health has been declining. She even had like somebody holding her to help support her to walk. They even had some photos of her where she was like not herself, and then she was holding a wig in her hand. There's been photos of her where she's been in stores, and she's not the same person that she once was. There had also been like a rebound, photos of her. I guess maybe it's her family because they felt some type of way about maybe some of the new developments coming out about her health declining and the things that was going on in her life. But I think she was in a tumultuous relationship with Kevin Hunter. From what I've heard, that he was abusive to her. And so I believe that is why her health is declined, and emotionally she just is not herself. It's not been the same. Also, she was cut off from some of her money, or if not most of her money. And that was also a reason why her son, he was recently evicted from his apartment. So at one while they were saying that her son and her was not getting along, and there was a lot of stuff with that. But I believe a lot of this comes from the the difficult marriage that she was once in. So it says, as the U.S. Sun first exclusively reported, Wendy, who is 58 years old, was placed in a financial guardianship earlier this year. So in his filing, Kevin told the court that he had 100% depends on the payments which were agreed to their marital settlement and agreement to live. Okay. Um, so I have fallen behind on most of my bills. I currently live in a community that requires payments to the homeowners association. So I believe maybe he has a condo, so, and I'm behind on that bill as well. So basically, he says that if the homeowners association fees are not paid, foreclosure will soon follow. Kevin said in his pleading in the court about the home he shares with his mistress and their love child. And so my car insurance hasn't been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments. So I'm behind on a credit card payment because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. Kevin continued in his filing. So my life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement, Wendy's ex-husband added. So on top of the myriad of pressing financial matters Wendy's has claims, which is Kevin Hunter, that he's facing, he is also alleged that he doesn't have health insurance as well. So the father of two claimed that he needs hip surgery as well, which he can't afford without insurance. As a result of non-treatment, he lives with pain. And so the fact that I'm unable to sustain my life and pay bills in order is extremely emergent to me. So I cannot pay my bills and sustain my day-to-day living. So this is Kevin Hunter saying all of the things that he's experiencing. But think about what Wendy has gone through. Just as a side note. So Kevin also argued that he has never given any reason by Wendy's guardian as to why the payments have ceased in the first place. So Wendy's final season salary. So in pushing back on Kevin's demand for payment, the U.S. Sun exclusively revealed earlier this week that the ex-TV host attorney filed that the star has not had income from the Wendy Williams show since October of 2021, just 1 month into what would be an entire season of the show going on in her absence. So on October 15, 2021, plaintiff was informed by Talk WW that her contract was being suspended and that no compensation shall accrue or be payable to plaintiff for the duration of the plaintiff's disability and incapacity. So Wendy's attorney wrote this. So the former talk show host attorney went on to cite the divorce settlement agreement, and she and Kevin signed back. This was in 2020 in January. So if for any reason plaintiff's contract with Talk WW is not renewed and or is otherwise suspended, canceled, or terminated, the plaintiff does not have any other television show being aired and paying her an equivalent salary. So the defendant understands and agrees that all the severance payments shall be subject to either termination or modification. So Wendy's attorney said in the citing of the ex's agreement. So Wendy's attorney continued that her client has not received any salary from the Talk Wendy Williams Show, WW, which that's what it abbreviates to, Wendy Williams Show, since October of 2021, and that she presently has no other TV or show being aired and paying her any income, let alone equivalent salary. So Wendy's absence from her show began in September at the start of her fall of 2021 season. Days later, Wendy was hospitalized for psychiatric evaluation Wendy was reportedly making $10 million a year, or $55,000 an episode for the Wendy Williams show. So financial constraints. The U.S. Sun first exclusively reported that Wells Fargo froze Wendy Williams' accounts in January of the year over concerns that Wendy was of unsound mind, and the bank suspected financial exploitation, dementia, and undue influence. So in another exclusive, the U.S. Sun, it was revealed that in May that Wendy had subsequently been placed in a financial guardianship. There's also the rehab issue. So Wendy spent 2 months in a Malibu, California rehab treating severe alcoholism, sources allege. So host had all previously claimed that she was sober and had a number of public incidences involving alcohol before she had checked into rehab for severe alcoholism in August. So alcohol has been a real struggle for Wendy Williams over the past several years. So she is battling severe alcohol abuse mixed with serious health issues. One insider close to the star claimed about her rehab stay. So she is being treated for extreme alcohol abuse. She has had a number of doctors who have told her for years, if you drink, you'll die. So she never really wanted to stop, and the people around her in New York allowed her to keep drinking. So the mounting issue. So Wendy Williams was absent for the entirety of her final season, The Wendy Williams Show, as she battled a myriad of health issues, including Graves' disease and lymphedema and the substance abuse. Her longtime production company, Dambar Mercury, announced that her show was officially canceled earlier this summer, and that Wendy Williams' time slot would be going to her former guest host, Sherri Shepherd. So Wendy previously claimed that she is launching a podcast. Through it is unclear if any episodes have been taped as of yet. So Wendy has had no clear income coming in, and she has not had a full control over her bank account since January. So Wendy Williams' financial conservatorship began in March and became permanent in May. And so several articles and things have come out about Wendy Williams. It's sad. It's like her life is like different now. It's really changed since all of the developments have happened. I'll put this article in the description box so you can go over it and read it, so you know that this is not something that I'm coming up with on my own. But those of you that have followed Wendy's situation and circumstance know that this stuff, a lot of this has happened. But it's unfortunate. But now you see Hunter, he's now affected by what I feel like he has something to do with a lot of the decline of Wendy Williams. Because what I was hearing, that the relationship between her and him was tumultuous, it was abusive. And so, I mean, think about it. All of a sudden, he's got this mistress. She's pregnant. She shows up in all these photos. He buys her a house on the same block. It's a lot of stuff that was going on. So it's just really stressful, and it's devastating to Wendy Williams. I feel like it has broken her soul in some way, to where now she's just dependent on substance, to medicate her issue. And so it's really sad to see her like this. Some people said they seen her, that she was in a park, sleeping on a park bench. It's a lot of stories that have come out about Wendy Williams, which those I don't feel like really are made up, because some photos have surfaced of that. And her, and just random, like in stores and stuff, she just didn't look the same. So, I mean, if you see her, I mean, she has family that's trying to support her, but, it's a lot going on. Think about what she went through. I mean, if you cheat on somebody, you have promised to be in a relationship with them, and you're cheating on them, and you get so old with it, where you're out in the open and you impregnate the lady and it gets on TMZ, the whole world knows about it. I mean, how do you think you would feel with all of that? And then you might be going through the relationship with somebody and they're physically, emotionally, that's emotionally abusive as well. You know, watching the husband you thought was a husband and he's out here impregnating other women and all this is going on. And so, I mean, I think this is my opinion that he drove her to drink. I really do believe she might already had the issue, but I mean, he just kind of triggered it with what his activities were. So, in saying this, I wish Wendy Williams the best, but I wouldn't be surprised if something, a tragedy other would happen, unless her family is really like, hopefully they're like extremely close to her and try to help her. But this is really sad to see this happen to this woman. She comes from having, maybe she didn't have a whole lot, and then she worked her way up, and then now this. So this is really sad. And if you look at the photos of how she looks, you know, people trying to help her to walk, and it's just really sad.